What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Drives with Jack. It's been about 4 years since my last Drives with Jack video. I'll pop the thumbnail up there somewhere. I haven't done one of these in a while. I really felt the need to. I don't know why. I just thought, why not? So, we're just coming back. I'm on the way to the gym, as usual with these Drives with Jack, right? Got my coffee, okay? Always got my coffee. And I don't know if I mentioned it, just dropped the girlfriend off at work on the way to the gym. So, basically, what I wanted to talk about today is how to get through tough times, how to get through struggle. And it really depends, because everyone's struggle's different, right? And it really depends on what kind of struggle you're going through. But everyone goes through struggles, whether that is, financial, relationships, whether that is in their business, their personal life. Maybe they're going through loss, so stuff like that's always really hard, right? But I want to talk about how to get through majority of tough times and how I've been getting through tough times recently. And everyone goes through them. There's stuff that happens in business, financial, there's a lot of things you aren't sure about, but there's always a way to get through it. I want to talk about how I've gotten through them, okay? As I sip my coffee, right? Oh, okay, I got a triple shot. I got a triple shot in my cappuccino today. So cappuccino comes with 2 shots, if you don't know, and I got an extra shot. So I'm going to be buzzed after this. I'm going to go train legs. It's going to be great. But look, recently I've learned some really, really good ways of getting through tough times. And like I said, everyone goes through them. But the main thing I want to note here with getting through tough times is that you need to remind yourself, the first thing is you need to remind yourself that these bad times, these tough times, they don't last forever. Might last a day, might last a week, might last a month, even a year or so, right? But at the end of the day, it's not going to last forever. Everything passes, okay? There's a saying that I'd read, a few years ago, and it just basically says, "This too shall pass." And it means that any emotion that you're feeling, happy, sad, angry, confused, anxious, it all passes. It's never going to stay the same, okay? Unless you want it to stay the same. That's the main thing there. So that's one thing that I wanted to talk about, is that this emotion that you're feeling, these emotions that you're going through in these tough times, they don't last forever. So it's going to pass. So just that, the thought itself, for a lot of people, is enough to think, well, it can't be that bad because it's going to pass. So that's one thing to note, is that what you're feeling right now is going to pass. It's always going to, the emotion's never going to stay there. Emotions are only temporary, okay? And most of the time, situations are only temporary. So not just with your emotions, but the situation that you're in, it will pass, okay? So keep that in mind. The next thing is that you need to be very conscious of what you're thinking. So I went through a period personally where there was a lot of different things happening with the business. There was a lot of things happening personal life, and I found myself, when I was getting stressed, when I was getting worried about things, I found myself really sort of actively complaining to myself in my mind about why are things this way, and why can't things be different. And you start to think at other people's situations, and you start to think, well, why can't it be like this? And do other people go through this, and blah blah blah, and all that stuff. And I'm not someone that's like that, okay? Usually I'm not someone that's like that. I was as a teenager, but not really. as I got old, especially after starting the business. It had been a long time since I'd been like that, so it was something new, and I didn't realize that it was actually happening until I caught myself out on it. And I was thinking about all the negatives. I was thinking about just why, wishing things were different instead of looking at the positives and really saying good things to myself. So even when it came to things like tax for the business, this is obviously, don't want it to be too boring, but obviously stuff like tax for the business, if you've ever started a business, or just personal tax, everyone hates tax, right? And everyone goes through it. But I was thinking to myself, because I had so much tax that I had to pay, I was thinking to myself, why do I have so much tax to pay? Does everyone else have this? I can't save any money. There's too much tax that's coming out. Blah blah blah. Tax this, tax that. And then it got to the point where I was making excuses where, I was making excuses for myself, for financials, taxes, things like that, and I started sort of complaining about it, I guess, in a sense, to friends, family, all, just to everyone, right? And especially to myself. And what I didn't understand at the time was that complaining about it, even to myself, or even just wishing things were different to myself, really affected my ability to change the situation. So another thing that I learned to do was, instead of complaining about it, I sit back and I think, well, okay, maybe, let's just say, for instance, well, tax sucks at the end of the day, really. Paying tax sucks. Everyone does it. Maybe I'm not, maybe this is too much tax to be paying, or maybe like the tax is just, at the end of the day, it's a part of life, right? It's funny that even explaining it now, I don't really have like a surefire way of explaining it, because at the end of the day, I was just complaining. That's why I'm struggling to get the words out now, because it's like, there's nothing to complain about. Why am I complaining? Everyone pays tax. Everyone has bills that they have to pay. So why am I complaining? And I'll tell you why I was complaining, was because I was just thinking about how hard things were, instead of thinking about how I can fix it. And how I can fix it was, okay, I need to work on my businesses more. I need to put time into things that matter. I need to put time into, how do I get more income into the business, okay? How do I get more income into my businesses, into my life? Because the problem wasn't, I had bills and taxes to pay. The problem was, okay, I need to bring in more money, so the taxes and bills don't matter, because I was at a point where I still had more taxes and more bills than I do right now, but it didn't matter because I was bringing in more money, so I needed to focus. And then that brings me into my third thing. You need to focus on what matters. Don't split your attention too much. Okay, don't split your attention. And what I mean by that is, especially if you're a business owner, especially if you're trying to do something, this can go for just people in general, whether you have a 9-to-5, whether you own a business, whatever it may be. The other problem that I was having was I was dividing my attention way too much, and that came from this scarcity mindset that I had of, I need to save money, too many bills, instead of thinking, how do I attack this? How do I make more money, instead of worrying about saving every dollar, for all of these expenses and whatnot that have come out. And in saying that, I'm still relatively new to owning a business. I've only been doing it for about 5 years now, 4 or 5 years. It'll be about 5 years now, and I'm still learning about the ups and downs and the ways and periods of good and bad times. Because being an entrepreneur, you might have seen a lot of people say that it's up and down. It's like a roller coaster, and that's so true. Like I said, been doing it for 5 years. It starts off really good, then there's a bit of a downturn. Then I went through a really good period, and then there's a downturn. And you gotta think in the downturns, that it's not gonna last forever, like I said in the first point. But what I was talking about with your attention, what I was doing was I was dividing my attention into too many things. And that was because, like I said, of my scarcity mindset. And I thought that I was trying to do too many things, basically. I was trying to make money here, there, every bit's a business, starting new things, and at the end of the day, I got stretched too thin, and I didn't get anything done. And not only that, it would stress me out more because I was trying to do too many things. Because I thought, I was like, I need to do this, I need to be better, I need to make more money, this and that. And at the end of the day, I forgot the reason why I was so successful in the beginning with starting a business, because I focused on one thing, maybe two things, right? I focused on my main thing. So that's another thing that I think will really help you if you are struggling right now and you're trying to do too many things at once. Focus on one. And if you're not sure what to focus on, pick one. Okay, for me, my main business has always been teaching Amazon FBA and Amazon FBA in general. So I said to myself, why don't I just focus on that? I was trying to do way too many things at once, way too many different businesses, and I stretched myself too thin. And that happens to a lot of people. You want to do so many things, and there's so many opportunities out there, and you think, which one's better? Which one's better? Do I start Amazon? Do I start dropshipping? Affiliate marketing? Do I start retail arbitrage? Do I start whatever it is? I see people flipping Pokemon cards and Yu-Gi-Oh cards on eBay. Do I start that? Look, at the end of the day, all of them work. Okay, do you want to start a social media marketing agency? They all work. All these businesses work. But you got to stick to one. Just pick one. If you don't know what to pick, just pick one and start at that. You got to stick with one. So that's the main thing, is don't divide your attention, okay? The way I like to think of it is that your brain is like a computer, right? And your brain, like a computer, has a certain amount of memory, a certain amount of bandwidth. And just like a computer, the more programs you run, the more bandwidth it takes up. And eventually it's going to get to the point where you're running so many programs on your computer, on your brain, that it slows down. And where a computer runs best is when it's only running one program. It's focusing all its energy on that single program, right? So that's the main thing, is that you need to focus on really saving your bandwidth, saving your memory in your brain, and not stretching it too thin. Because when you stretch it too thin over too many things that you want to do, it ends up accomplishing nothing. So they're the main things I just want to talk about, and they've really helped me. So the first one is to notice that this feeling that you're feeling right now is not going to last forever, okay? Second one is to really be conscious of, if you're complaining to yourself, don't complain, switch it up, okay? Like I said, to carry on with the second point, is you got to be really conscious. If you are picking up on yourself, and you got to be really hard on yourself about it every day. So I'm at the point now where if I think that I'm thinking negatively about something, I switch up like really, really quick. I think to myself, why am I thinking like this? So instead of thinking again, I've got, you wake up one day and you look at your bank account and you think, I've got these bills coming out, I've got this and that. Don't think about it that way. Those bills are going to come out either way, whether you put yourself in that situation or not. The bills are going to come out. Don't think about the bad stuff. Don't think about the bad part about the bills coming out. Think about this. Switch up your mindset completely and think, how do I get out of this? Okay, what can I do? What am I capable of doing? Can I make more money? Can I start something, a side hustle on the weekend? Okay, can I clean people's cars? Can I start selling stuff on eBay? eBay's a really big one, right? You can flip stuff on eBay and make some quick money doing that. So think about that, and that will really help, because that puts you from a mindset of a scarcity mindset of a I'm lower, I'm lower than this situation mindset. I'm sort of looking at where I want to be as this high peak. You take it from that to, you pull that peak down. Okay, you're looking at this platform where you want to get to. You pull it down to your level and you think, how do I get there? This is, instead of thinking it's unattainable, you pull it down to your level, or you even reach its level and you think, all right, I can do this. That's the power of that, right? And then the third thing is, don't spread yourself too thin. I understand it completely when you want to do so many different things, right? You want to just find that thing that works. the funny thing is, the more things you try and do at once, the less likely you are of achieving those things. It's so funny. When you focus on one thing, the people who are really good at something, and those people that you see that are successful and they're making a lot of money, and they have these big businesses, or they're living their lives the way that they want to, you have a look at them. They start by focusing on one thing. So just focus on one thing. That's the main thing I want to say. And that's one thing that's helped me out so much. Being an entrepreneur myself, I want to do so many things. There's so many things that I want to be good at, you know. It even got to the point where I was like, I want to have a big online business, you know. I want to have a side hustle on eBay. I want to be good at making music, you know. And yeah, they're things that you can do, but it's just like, it's too much for your brain. And people just don't work that way. You need to focus on one thing. So that's the main thing. Okay, well, that's the last thing, is don't spread yourself too thin. Okay, just make sure that you focus on one thing, because that's what's going to make you successful. And again, if you don't know what you want to pick, just pick one. Just pick one. Even if you have to draw it out of a hat or something, or just randomize it somewhere, just pick one and start with that. It's really going to help you, because you narrow down your focus, laser focus on that one thing. Okay, so that's what I want to say. Like I said, if you're going through hard times, don't think that it's going to last forever, because that's what doesn't get you out of the cycle. Okay, so that's all I wanted to say in this video. I really like these drives with Jack. It's been, like I said, 4 years, but I do hope this video helped, because this stuff really helped me. This is some real world advice for you. Okay, so anyway, hope you're doing well. I'm gonna go smash out a gym workout. I'm gonna finish my coffee. Okay, and I'm gonna go smash this leg workout. Yeah, my leg's gonna be sore, but I'm gonna go to Macca's tonight. Why not? Isn't it funny that these drives with Jack, the last time I used to do them, I ended up going to Macca's as well. How funny is that? Like, how it works. It's just funny. I don't know. I think it's funny. But anyway, we're back on the old cycle. I'll stop rambling on. I'm just trying to drive and concentrate at the same time. But without further ado, I will leave you guys to it. I hope this helped, and I want to do more of these videos. But stay safe, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. See you in the next Drives with Jack.